We're going to be using my $3.7 million portfolio to go over the wheel strategy and how you can make weekly income using the wheel strategy. This one simple strategy has accounted for a lot of the wealth that I have generated. I'm super excited to show you how to simply run it in this simple step-by-step guide. So this is ideal for beginners who are looking to generate weekly cash flow with options without taking on too much risk and following a simple formula. In this quick, full step-by-step guide for the wheel strategy, I'm going to show you how to execute this in simple steps by opening the trade, managing the trade, closing the trade from start to finish. And even if you're already running the wheel strategy and you're already familiar with this, I'm also going to give you some golden nuggets that will take you from the intermediate level to the advanced level as fast as possible. So the simple definition of the wheel strategy and why it's called the wheel strategy is selling put options, getting into the stock via getting assigned on the put option that you sold, and once assigned, selling covered call options and further generating income. And this is going to be in a wheel fashion. Selling puts, get assigned, sell covered calls, get assigned, repeat all over again. So let's go into my portfolio. So using my portfolio right here, I'm going to be using some examples because I have many positions that I currently have that I'm running the wheel strategy on. I'm going to go to total return here and I just want to show you some of the returns that I'm getting right now. So I've had a lot of success. A lot of these positions are making me money and they're going to be expiring on June 20th. So as I'm making this video, I am selling monthly options mainly, but weekly options is also very attractive. It's just a little bit more management and you need to know that it's about the same as monthly with more management, but it's more exciting. So a lot of beginners choose to do weekly options because it will feel like it's lower risk and it'll also be more reps under their belt. And if you want to get good at option trading, you need to place more trades. And that's one of the biggest scenarios that will help you improve. So the wheel strategy is great for income and it's way better than speculation. Step one is picking the right stock. So let's do step one here. I have American Airlines, I have Apple, I have ACHR, I have Palantir. Palantir is a great example of running the wheel strategy. So let's go over here into this option because step number one is really just selling a put option. So step number one is picking the right stock. And I guess step number two would be selling a cash secured put. Okay, with picking the right stock, I'm going to go over an example right now of Palantir. And when I'm looking for a stock to pick, I'm looking for high liquidity, high option volume. I'm looking for a popular stock that a lot of people are trading because that gives me opportunity for liquid stock that I can trade with my own opinion and do my own research, technicals, fundamentals, and usually it is some of those more popular stocks, especially tech stocks that have a lot of growth. Tesla, AMD, SoFi. We'll go over some more in this video of my watch list, but you want to really avoid any junk or penny stocks. Yeah, sure, the premium might be a lot higher, but remember, running the wheel strategy, it's really about retirement, it's really about passive income, and it's really about safe income. So I would stick to those. And bonus tip, if you can just stick to the S&P 500 stocks, that's really the way to go. Now, you'll see right now that Palantir, I have the 115 sell put, and currently I'm up $1,225. Okay, so I made a lot of money so far and I am running the wheel strategy on Palantir, and what's likely to happen here is I'm likely not to get assigned. Okay, so with the wheel strategy, you are indifferent. You do not care whether you get assigned or not assigned because you can see here that I actually sold this put option, made $18.50 and collected premium. And I'm just kind of hands off right now. I'm just waiting for this option to expire. And because Palantir has not went down to 115, I'm going to be A-okay. All right, I'm going to be A-okay. I don't have to do anything. And what I am going to do is I'm going to let this option expire and do it again. Okay, so that's step one of the wheel strategy. They're selling puts to get assigned. If you don't get assigned, then you sell more puts. And on Palantir, there's really good premium. Okay, and you can see here that I'm up good money in the stock, so I'm not going to do anything until 620. But if I wanted to open up a new position, and if you're thinking about opening up a new position right now on, say, Palantir, let me go over a real life example. So I would just go to view all options, okay, sell put, and now once I'm here on sell put, you're going to go for an expiration date that is going to be weekly. So 4 days is basically weekly, but so is 11 days. So actually 11 days is a weekly option. I have a lot of weekly options expiring this week or next week, I should say. So if you see here the stock is trading for 126, you're going to want to go down because selling out of the money options is better. If it's an out of the money option, you have a lower chance of getting assigned. So right now you see the delta is 0.27. You want to look for a delta that's basically around 30. 27 delta is great. So this 27 delta right here is good because you're only going to get assigned about 27% of the time. That's what delta is essentially saying. So 73% of the time, or the inverse of 27%, 73%, you're not going to get assigned. So you're going to collect income, which is great. You have a mix of collecting income and and some chance of getting assigned. That's perfectly okay, right? Because again, we're gonna talk about step number 3 in just a second. But yeah, you can sell the 120 put option for Palantir and just collect $228, and there you go. You're running the wheel strategy. It's as simple as that. Don't overcomplicate it. Very simple. You sell a put option out of the money on a stock that you like. That's the key ingredient right there. All right. So you would sell this and then you would wait until expiration. Now let's talk about managing this trade. So come closer to expiration, say June 20th. Let's say that Palantir went below 120th. 120 per share. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just wait and get assigned, okay? And that's where really step number 3 comes in, assignment. Like, what do you do? Well, a lot of people are like, well, I need to manage it and I need to get out and it's gonna be risky and da-da-da. No. Take it easy, take a step back. The wheel strategy is about assignment. You invite assignment. You're okay with assignment. You say, yes, I want assignment, okay? Of course, you want that premium to come in many times, but if you get assigned, totally okay. So it's no problem, because now what happens is you get assigned, and you have 100 shares per contract that you sold. So if you sold 3 contracts, then you have 300 shares, right? So now you shift over and you go into covered calls. So let's go back to my portfolio. You see here, I'm running the wheel on American Airlines. I'm running it on ACHR. These are out of the money. Amazon's out of the money. Palantir, same thing. Sweetgreens. Oh, by the way, all these trades I make live in Discord. I'm placing all my trades live. So, members can copy the trades, and as I'm placing them live, I'm going over technical analysis and why I'm placing these trades. So if you're interested in that, it is the first link in the description. Now, you can see here that I'm already in step 3 of the wheel with Snap, because these are all puts, and now Snap here is a covered call. So you can see here I have 2 different Snap options. So let's go into Snap 8.5 call option. And what I'm doing right here is it's a covered call. Okay, so I got assigned on Snap. I entered into the stock, and now I'm selling a covered call. You can see here that this is very interesting, because Snap is essentially at 849 and my covered call is at 850. So I'm right at the money, right? But I'm not really doing anything right now, because we'll talk about managing step 3. Managing step 1 is don't do anything, right? And just sell a put. Managing step 2, which is assignment, you still don't do anything. So step 1 and step 2, you don't really need to do anything. When you sell a put, you're good. Now after assignment, okay, you sell covered calls. Okay, so now we're kind of in step 3. And what you do in step 3, all right? If it goes into the money, you still don't do anything. So you just will have the risk of losing the shares. At expiration, if it's above, you will lose the shares completely. And that's fine, right? You can actually see right here, I'm up $200. I'm up $200 on Snap, and we can actually simulate returns right here. So you can see here, Snap is currently at 847, and I don't need to do anything right now, because what's going to happen is I'm up $200, but as you can see, as time goes on, right, time continues, I'm a little bit out of the money, right? A little bit out of the money. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna continue to make profits every single day. So you can see as every day goes by, as I'm going to the right, every day that goes by, 3 DTE, you can see there, right? The June 18th, 2 DTE, 1 DTE, and then 0 DTE. Boom. And this option will completely expire, and I'll be up $875 if the stock stays the same, right? Of course, if it were to go up, let me show you what would happen if it were to go up. Let me change the 845 to, let's say it goes up to $8.75, right? I messed that up a little bit. $8.75, all right? Here's what would happen. So if it went up like that, of course, right now, I may show a bit of a loss, because now we're in the money, but still, because I've collected more premium when I sold that option, then it would be in the money. At expiration, I'm still up $275, and that's because I've collected, I don't know the exact premium I've collected now. We can go back and take a look at what I've collected. So I've collected 36 cents. So my break even is 886. And that's why when you just saw me simulate the return, when I put 875, well, I would still be up 11 cents, right? 886 is 11 cents higher than 875. So I would still be making money up until 886 in the simulated return. However, you can basically say that you're making money no matter what. Because when you sell a put option, you get assigned, then you sell covered calls, you're almost always selling covered calls above your average cost. And because you're selling it above your average cost, it doesn't really matter if you get assigned. You're just making money. You made money to sell the put. Nothing happened with assignment. You just got assigned. You made money selling the covered call, and then you get assigned, and you just lose your shares above your cost basis. So you can actually make money 3 ways. You make money through the premium of selling the put, the premium of the covered call, and then the premium of the stock appreciation itself. So say that my average cost on Snap is $8, and now I'm getting forced to sell it for $8.50. Well, I got paid the put premium, I got paid the covered call premium, and then I'm making 50 cents as well, because from 8 to 8.50, I'm also making some money. So when you get assigned, you just sell covered calls and you just make weekly income. You just keep rolling it just like that, and that's where the wheel comes from. And you really rinse and repeat. Now, in terms of step 4, risk management and stuff, you don't really need a whole lot of risk management, because when you sell a put option and you're happy to basically own the stock anyways, there really isn't any risk. There's no risk management to be taken. It's like say you go on a date and you're like, well, I'm worried about getting married and being in love. All right, well, that's the risk that you're taking, right? So falling in love and being married, right? So pretty good outcome, isn't it, for most people, right? So the wheel strategy is the same, like pretty good outcome. Like the worst that happens is you get assigned and then you sell it at a higher price. That's what's gonna happen a majority of the time. So yeah, it's a really good outcome. And this is what I call a non-losing strategy. And that's why I've been teaching it for over 5 years. That's exactly what I focus on with my one-on-one clients is I'm like, hey, let's just run the wheel. Let's not do any crazy stuff here. We can retire with just this strategy. Now, what to keep in mind though is managing your position size. So you don't want to go too heavy into any one stock. So like the biggest mistakes I see is like people, goodness, they go into like crappy stocks, MSTR, Riot, Mara, like some of these more risky stocks, and then they just go really heavy positions. Like that's not how you want to do it. You want to have, say like 10 stocks and just stick to those 10, right? And just keep running the wheel. That's essentially what I'm doing. Like if I go to my portfolio right now, you'll see that I'm just running SoFi, Snap, Target. I like Target a lot. XLC, you'll see that I'm down a lot, but I'm down a lot. I'm above my average cost, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, XLY, ACHR, and I have a lot more positions that I'm trading for small, medium, and big portfolios. Like I'm focused on scaling all portfolio sizes. But yeah, it's really about following like a core set of stocks that are high quality that you understand on a fundamental basis. Because one of the risks to the wheel strategy is, say that the stock market crashes, right? A lot of people will bail out of the wheel strategy and say, well, I'm done with this thing. I'm out of here. Well, that's like one of the biggest mistakes, because the market obviously recovers. Like even we've been in some difficult times in 2025. We're essentially at all-time highs again in June, right? We have a lot of stocks at all-time highs, and I'll show you SPY, for example, which is the S&P 500 ETF. This, by the way, is really good for the wheel strategy as well. If you have like a bigger portfolio and you just want to go safe and steady, you can just trade SPY and collect good money on SPY with the wheel strategy and just really nothing else. But you can see here, like year to date SPY, yeah, there's like a lot of volatility, right? There was like Trump tariff, like a lot of issues with politics and Trump and like and Elon, just a whole bunch of things like really melting down. But yeah, you know, the S&P 500 as a whole, the market's doing great and the economy is in a very strong spot. So I'm very bullish for the rest of 2025. And I simply think that running the wheel strategy is timeless. Like this video here is timeless, because you can be watching this in 2026. And if you are, oh my goodness, comment down below, I'm watching this in 2026. That'll be really interesting. But yeah, you can use this strategy timelessly, and just every single year, nothing really changes. You can see here, I'm looking at April 8th. Yeah, just the volatility doesn't really matter, because long term, the stock market goes up. Now, what I want to say, if you do end up doing the wheel strategy here, right, and then it ends up going down, there are definitely cases in the wheel strategy where it is difficult to sell covered calls, right? So sometimes when the stock falls a lot or the ETF falls a lot, it can be difficult to sell covered calls. And in that case, yeah, you have a couple of different options. One of the more advanced options that I teach that I'll tell you right now, but I won't go into all the details of, is you can actually kind of double down the position and continue to run the wheel strategy, cover strangles, and selling more options into weakness. Okay, it's a little bit more of an advanced strategy, and it requires more advanced risk management skills. And the second way, the beginner-friendly way, is just to simply wait and let the stock recover. And of course, add more money, and dollar cost average is always pretty priceless information as well. Like it's going to work out. Now, in terms of like generating the weekly income, you really want to stick to kind of like the lower delta, because in a week, you know, you can really get tied up in a week if you go very heavy on the delta. So you can get tied up very fast. So if you're going for 40 delta, you're going to get assigned, and then you're not really going to be able to run the wheel strategy as efficiently, I would say. You're still going to run the wheel strategy, but not as efficiently. So what you want to do is you want to go for around the 30 delta, maybe even a little bit less, depending on your goals. That's the reason I do one-on-one coaching, is people have different goals and different risk tolerance metrics. So I have some students that on a 300K portfolio, they're cool just making $6,000 a month, and that's it, they're retired. Whereas someone else, they might want to go for that $9,000 to $12,000 mark, and they're going to have to take on additional risk And that's a trade-off that they have to make, right? So one of the common mistakes that you can make is just really going for heavy delta, high delta, getting assigned, and then yeah, you're just you're chilling, which is fine, right? But a lot of people, they want to be a bit more active with the wheel. They want to get in, they want to get out, and that's fine. So there's just a trade-off between assignment risk and the higher delta. And I think that you can really focus on consistency either way, because the wheel strategy is so versatile and it's such a profitable way of trading. It's probably why this topic has so much popularity on YouTube, is because so many people are realizing that option trading is a lucrative way to create a retirement income that's safe and passive, but also the wheel strategy specifically I've been covering since day one, because this is a strategy that I truly believe in, right? There's lots of option strategies, but I truly believe in the wheel strategy because I personally ran it myself, and I've grown my portfolio to multiple 7 figures by running this simple strategy. And I personally don't believe that you even need to be too cute or sexy or try so many strategies, especially if you have a bigger account. Another common mistake, by the way, that a lot of people make is they just chase too much premium. So even if you have a lot of success with a strategy, you start to kind of chase, and that risk appetite goes up. But you have to remember that the market is good until it's not good. So you always have to position yourself for protection and safety, and not really chase the high IV traps. Okay, so not like very high implied volatility of the most sexy popular stocks and then going heavy into them. And yeah, sure, like 1 month that you have a $300,000 portfolio, say you go really heavy, you get 5% premium. Great. I mean, you can make $15,000 a month, but what good is that when the next month is essentially, you're down money, right? So I really prefer that consistent approach. And you do need cash for this strategy. So this is not a brokey strategy for the people with $1,000, $2,000 in their account. Like, you're going to want to watch my videos on spreads and stuff like that. But I really focus on people that have $25,000 plus. Those are also my ideal clients who I get the most results with. They have bigger accounts. My coaching fees make sense for them because it's just a no-brainer. They make so much money, they pay off the fee in like a day or two, or even a week in some cases, right? If they have a small portfolio. But if you have a smaller account, this is just not the most ideal strategy. However, I will say that you can still run the wheel with something like American Airlines, which is $1,000. So if you have a $1,000 account, you can still run the wheel, just you won't have as much diversity, which is not going to be as ideal for your position management, your risk management, okay? So keep that in mind as well. Now, in terms of selling call options and put options, again, it's actually pretty much the same on the delta, 30 or less on selling puts. And then for covered calls, it's basically the same game. I mean, it's really the same game. They're kind of like mirror images of each other. 20 to 30 delta is good on the selling puts, and then for covered call is the same. And the reason why you want to give some room on your covered call is because you still get some of the upside. So like if I go into my portfolio right now, let's say that I go for SoFi here, for example. SoFi right now is trading at 14.28, and I'm up on this position, but what's nice is that this position's at 15. So if SoFi goes to 15, I am personally still benefiting from the current price of $14.26 to $15. So I still have growth within the stock itself. And that's what makes the wheel the most lucrative. It's not per se the selling puts portion, because that can collect 2% a month or so, but on the covered call portion you can really get a big return because you have upside in the stock plus premium. So I've seen students really generating 7 to 12% returns per month in a good market, and that's very doable, especially in a good market, especially on a stock that like Tesla. I mean, Tesla is very volatile, and if you catch it at the right moments, then you can make just a ton of money. Like right now I've been pretty bearish on Tesla. In my Discord I said, like, we're not in it. You can actually see here the only position I have is really a call credit spread, which is just a small account strategy for generating income. But yeah, now that Tesla's pulled back and I have my call in 10 minutes from now, I'm going to be selling put options on Tesla, and I'm going to be looking to basically run the wheel after the pullback. So I've been good with timing Tesla. Actually, I didn't know that some of the volatility would come and this drastically, but I've been patiently waiting, and I'm about to get rewarded very heavily. So I'm about to get on my call right now on Discord and take advantage of this. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you want to watch more of the wheel strategy and really like master this strategy, this is the only strategy that you need. I highly recommend that you invest time into my free course here on YouTube. I'm going to put it up right here. It's a free course where I talk about everything, all the steps I covered in this video, but in much greater detail with much more live examples. So go ahead and check that out right now.